Hey everybody, welcome to another Paint the Edge Up, where I teach you to make a cool painting in about an hour and get a little drunk doing it. My name's Joel, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this painting right here. It's not the best photograph, I won't lie, but it's cool, nice little snowy forest painting. Alright, so with winter upon us, I feel like that's a good one for today. So I'm going to be walking through step by step how to do that. Now, before I get started, search Paint the Edge Up. I got links up here, like, share, follow, subscribe, tweet, upvote, Twitch vote, TikTok, blah blah, do all the things. Search Paint the Edge Off, you'll find me. Also, like I do with all my classes, I'm gonna give away a free giveaway painting. All you gotta do is correctly answer my subjective trivia question first in the comments, and I will send you a free painting of your choice. Cat? My cat's going crazy behind me. But before I get to that, let's talk about what you're gonna need for this today. Philip, please. You will need a 16 by 20 canvas. Any canvas will work. I'm using 16 by 20. You also need some kind of easel, something to sit your painting on, or you can lay it straight down if you want, if you don't have an easel. I've also got some paper towels. I've got paper plates. I've got some whiskey. I've also got a blow dryer. It helps me dry my painting, get through nice and fast. I've got a water cup that you'll need to wash your brushes out. This is acrylic paint, so it takes water as its medium, so you want to mix in water with your paint as you go. Let's see, now I've got some tools here. So I've got just regular pencil. I've got a couple pieces of chalk here, just like sidewalk chalk, you know, that'll work. It's kind of nice to sketch on your painting with, Philip. My cat is just behind me, batting around a cap on the floor. Okay, anyway, I'm trying to get distracted by my cat. I've got a kneaded eraser. I've got 4 brushes. I've got my big flat brush, my medium flat brush, I've got my medium round brush, and my little round brush, okay? So take those brushes, put them bristle down in your water cup. Anytime you're not using them, leave them there, and I think with that, we're ready to go. So, cheers, paint the edge off. Okay, let's get going. Get the old shot counter going. Hiya. Okay, so what we want to do first with this one is start with our pencil. And we're just going to start by drawing in kind of where our little trees are going to be here. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, make a little mark right here. Alright, I don't know, go up a few fingers, whatever. And then this is going to kind of just go over and kind of curve up. Somewhere in there. Alright, and then we're going to have another line that kind of comes out. Goes over here, kind of goes off the side. That's going to be where the bottom of our trees are, okay? Reviews were mixed. You know what, Alex? No one asked you. Alex made a really good painting of this. You did do a good one, okay? You should share your picture with everybody. Okay, now that we've got that done, let's take a plate. Let's get some white. I didn't mention my colors, but it's just white, black, and blue for this one. So get some white and some blue. Let's take our big brush out of our water cup, tap it off so we feel fancy, and let's take our brush, start starting in there with that white paint. So get your water all mixing in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just painting this whole sky white, okay? And then while it's wet, I'm going to mix up a nice light blue, mix that in there, and there we go. Alex, you painted this one. You did a great job. You did a great job. Alright, so basically I'm just going to cover this all in thick white paint for now. Okay, now it seems silly, right? Why am I painting a white canvas white? Well, you know, there's just to waste time, really, you know, there's really no point. Okay, let's get this all painted white. We'll mix up a nice light blue in a second, and we'll mix that in. Let's see, what's been going on? What's been going on with everybody? We're preparing for a big winter storm right now. We'll see if it happens. I think it's starting to snow though and freeze finally. So that's fun. Get off some days of work. That's nice. Okay, let's get a little bit of blue here. Mix some blue in with a whole bunch of white. I'm going to make this a very light blue. Pretty much no matter what blue, how much blue you mix in, you're going to want more white. Okay, so you want to make this be super light. Alright. Morgan says, can you request a drawing to do? Sure thing. I also am going to start doing more on Twitch, just drawing stuff. So if you want to follow me on Twitch, it's just Paint the Edge Off. So if you search Paint the Edge Off on Twitch, you should be able to find me. Okay, now I've got some light blue mixed up, okay? Let's take our brush, get a little bit of light blue on there. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of streak this in. I'm going to start mostly at the top here. And now, I don't want a ton of paint on my brush, just a little bit, so I can kind of brush this in. And then at this point, I might go ahead and take a paper towel and wipe some of that paint off. A little drier, get a little drier. And then I'll go back and just kind of brush this in. You could take more white if you wanted, but I wouldn't go back and forth with too many colors in here because that's where it starts to get a little hairy. But we just want to do something like that. It's just slightly more blue at the top, okay? Oh, that scared me. Morgan, how have you been? I haven't talked to you in a while. Okay, let's wash our brush out. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint in the bottom here, okay? I'm going to paint our bottom, okay? So let's start with our light blue. Get that light blue on our brush. All right, we're going to start just fill this in. I'm just going to go underneath where my line I drew. Just fill this all in. I want a good thick amount. Okay, big no problem. Philip! Philip, what are you doing? Philip, he stopped. My cat is in here being crazy right now. So, yeah, you know, just keep painting and... Philip! Sorry, I won't keep yelling at my cat. So we're going to fill this in all light blue. Philip, what are you doing over there? It's going to like disconnect my computer or something at some point. Okay, I've got this all in nice light blue. Let's go ahead and take our brush. Let's get a little bit of just a little dab of that dark blue. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to kind of put this around. I'm going to start by kind of tracing over my lines, okay? Now what I want to do then is take my brush, again, dry it off. There's a lot of like subtle mixing here, so you don't want a ton of paint on your brush. Dry it off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush. I'm just going to kind of start brushing this in here, going left to right, keeping horizontal lines here. It's okay if I go over that line. That's not a big deal. But now we've got this kind of going to be a little shadow for where our trees are going to be later, okay? So let's go ahead and get some of this. I can turn my brush on the skinny side up here, make maybe skinnier marks since it's going up higher, so it's a little further away, you know, a little perspective. Let's put a little dark blue, just splash that around. Okay, let's wash our brush out and let's take a shot, you know. We'll get a little bit of white paint on our brush and we'll put some white highlights in our ground down here in a minute. And while there's some we want to mix in while it's wet, we could also add some white later once it's dried and add some nice solid white chunks on there. Yeah. Okay, alright, let's wash our brush out. Let's get some white paint. Alright, let's get that white paint. We're going to put some kind of bright white spots in here too. We've had a lot of the darknesses. Let's add a little bit of whites. Boom, a little bit maybe there. I like to put a little bit more white kind of going down the middle because that's kind of where the sun would be hitting the ground a little bit more. And there we go. Let me put a big white chunk here. Why not? My white. Take my white. There we go. We can take some more white. Splash that around in here. There we go. Alright, so now we've got a little bit of, you know, dark, shadowy spots kind of around where the edge where our trees are going to be. Okay, and then we've got some white spots in the middle. And yeah, I think we're ready to blow dry. Take a little break here, take another shot, and I'll do the trivia question. Philip? Philip, what are you doing over there? Now he's chilling, just watching. Philip? Cats are funny. There was a video I was watching today and it was like the difference between cats and dogs. But a dog is like, this human feeds me, he takes care of me, he loves me, he must be God. And then it shows a cat and it's like, this person feeds me, takes care of me, loves me, I must be God. I think that's a pretty good description of difference between dogs and cats there. Let's see. Trivia question today is, which televangelist has the best Pokemon deck? Okay, is it A, T.D. Jakes, B, Joel Osteen, C, Jimmy Swaggart, D, I don't know any of these people, E, Franklin Graham, F, Kenneth Copeland, G, Pete Popoff, or H, Pokemon is the devil? Alright, so answer the question. Whoever answers correctly first wins a free giveaway painting. And yeah. So yeah. You know what? Actually, take this down for a minute because fortunately, recently, one of my good friends has passed away. A great guy, is hilarious, and what he was getting up there, and I guess he had some medical issues, and really sad, so I'm going to take a shot for him. This was for Big Hands. Cheers, buddy. Really sad, honestly. I've got some good stories about him. I don't know if I can even tell them here because they're so crazy. But that guy was a blast. He was awesome. This gigantic man who was hilarious. Heart of gold. Love that guy. So it really sucks. But anyway, I'm trying to focus on that today because as depressing as it is, I'm not here to depress anybody, so. But I do want to pour one out for my homie, so. Anyway, I've been watching a lot of Righteous Gemstones and started really looking into televangelists, and turns out they're all big Pokemon players, so. Yeah, this question again, which televangelist has the best Pokemon deck? You know, really, it's kind of up for debate, but it's pretty clear the winner here. Now, if you don't know much about televangelists, I understand, but you know, there's a few of them got some good fire decks. A couple got some mono decks. Some people have dual type, but you know, don't Google it. Okay, don't cheat. All right. If you know it, you know it. But yeah, which televangelist has the best Pokemon deck? That's the trivia question today. Sherry has already guessed H, Pokemon is the devil. Okay, alright, H is off the board, everybody. Okay, let's go ahead and start painting in some trees here. Now, what we want to do before we start painting is draw them in. So I'm going to take my chalk here. Now let's see if this shows up very well. No, it doesn't. Let's take the blue, see if that shows up. That shows up better. Okay, we're going to use blue. Okay, so what I really want to do here is kind of just make, I'm just going to make a line for each tree, kind of how high they're going to go up. Now this one on the far left is going to go up all the way off the top of the canvas. So there's that line for this one. Now I want to give myself a little bit of room. Here's the second tallest one. Boom. Now those are pretty close together. They're going to be overlapping pretty quick here, but that's okay. We'll kind of have to deal with that as we go. Let's put another one here. Let's put another tall one there. And then here we're going to start. I'm going to go over to this side now because they're going to get real small when they get to here. So these are kind of in front of these trees going back. Got a little path between these trees, right? So let's start with our biggest one over here on the right. All right, let's put another one. This one's also, these first three are going off the edge. They're pretty tall. Boom, 3 big ones right there. Okay. Now let's put some small, a little bit shorter lines here. Let's go 1. Let's go 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that's probably good. Okay, we're done drawing. Wow, such incredible drawing. A bunch of lines. Okay, let's take a shot and keep going. Let's see. Righteous Gemstones is pretty funny, actually. Last week I was talking about it, and I just watched the first couple episodes, and I was like, this is a lot more intense. It does get a lot funnier, though. I'm almost through the first season. Okay, let's get another shot counter, and Philip. Philip. Oh, Philip. Philip, what are you doing? Oh, come here, buddy. Oh. This is Philip. He's a little troublemaker. Yeah? He doesn't like the limelight, clearly. But he does like to make a freaking noise the whole time. I'm painting. Oh, he's a good boy, though. Okay, what was I doing? I'm painting. Okay, let's take, I'm taking a new plate. Let's get some black and some blue on here. Philip, what are you doing? Kitty, kitty. Well, I think I got paint on him. I got paint on his butt. Okay, anyway, enough about the cat. Okay, let's take our, let's go ahead and switch to our medium flat brush, okay? Let's take that, let's stir this water with our blue, and let's mix some black in there with it, okay? Okay, we're gonna get a little bit of a dark blue here. And you know what else? I'm gonna take a little bit of white, but I think I'm just gonna do dark blues, blue and black here for a little bit. Now, I do want to mix up a lot because we're gonna use a lot of this. Philip, what are you doing? I can't focus. My cat is just going crazy over there. Okay. Anyway, all right. Let's take our medium flat brush here. We got our blue mixed in with black here. We got a nice dark blue. Okay. Sherry says my cat is rotten. Just runs around and attacks me for no reason. Yeah, you know, Philip doesn't attack anyone. That was kind of like when I got cats. That's always been like one of my things with cats. I'm like, you know, cats and dogs, whatever, you like what you like. But my problem with cats is that at some point they just attack you. Dogs don't really attack you unless maybe they're trying to protect you. They might attack someone else because they think someone else is a threat or something. Cats just straight up attack you, which not the best quality in my opinion. Okay. But my cat's pretty good. He's super chill. He's got the zoomies right now or something. He's just running around. I will say this might be because earlier I couldn't find my cat and I was looking for him and I was going everywhere and I'm like, where's this cat? And I called my girlfriend because she left. She went on a walk with the dog. And I'm like, do you have Philip with you? And she's like, no. I was looking around everywhere and then finally I thought, oh, I messed that one up. Oops. Finally, I realized he likes to go in this. He likes to he climbs you like a tree. He likes to go in this closet, and I noticed that closet was closed, and I opened the door, and there he was, and he like ran out real quick. Somehow he got closed in the closet. Okay, I'm just tracing these lines in to start. For it a sample. There we go. Okay, now we've kind of got our first main trees in. Let's start with the big ones here. Actually, what we're going to do... No, that's not true. Let's start with the ones in the back first. So these are kind of going down. These trees are kind of going behind these big trees, okay? So let's start here at this one. This one's going to be the furthest one away, all right? So let's start here. Now, what I like to do at the top is kind of do a little asterisk. I just touch my pencil to it, make a little asterisk at the top, and then I kind of dance, just let it dance. I just kind of dab it, angle it out at different angles, and kind of go out a little bit as I go down. One thing I will always say is, as you go down and make them wider at the bottom, go gradually, okay? Because if you get going too crazy, all of a sudden your tree's this wide and it's covering up all your other trees and everything else. It's just easy to start getting wider too fast, and then you can't really stop. You can always go back and make it wider if you make it too skinny, but you can't necessarily do the same thing in reverse. So now down here at the bottom, I just kind of make a nice little solid, clump of down there at the bottom. You could do it differently. You could show the bottom of your tree trunk if you wanted. You might have to take some blue and go back over the base. You can see that it stops right there at the bottom. Oh, Sherry, yep, done that to mine. If two freaking cat follows me around like a dog. Yes, glad doing trees. I need to work on them. Oh, okay, yeah. A little practice working on some trees. All right, so again at the top here, do my little asterisk types thing. Then as I go down, I kind of just rotate, going angle down at 45-degree angles, and back and forth, and get a little wider as I go. Take me. Ugh. Yeah, anyway, I've been watching Righteous Gemstones. That's kind of what inspired my trivia question today. If you haven't watched that show, it's hilarious, and it's hilarious in a way. It's not like just jokes coming at you the whole time, but it's a funny show. It's a good show. In it's got a good story and everything. Just happens to take place in the televangelist world. So.
This little jingle down in Arkansas, and I know you don't love me, but let me tell you
Alright.
like this.
So we're going to go through and do this to all of them. And it's going to take however long it takes. Let's see. Now, I don't know. I don't know. It's not like Righteous Gemstones. It's funny because it doesn't feel like it's really just making fun of the whole. It's not really like making fun of Christianity, really. Like they don't really bring up, the stories of Jesus and make them sound stupid or anything like that. It's just literally a story about these characters who are, are super rich. And, so I don't know, it's kind of an interesting show. It's not bad. But, it did lead me down the path of finding out that, all these televangelists are huge into Pokemon. So let's bring up the trivia question one more time. Let's see, which televangelist has the best Pokemon deck? You got there's T.D. Jakes in there, you got Joel Osteen, Jimmy Swaggart, the Swag, as he's called. And, yeah, so go ahead and take a guess if you don't know. Again, whoever wins the trivia question gets a free painting of your choice. I will mail it to you. You have to give me an address, which I do understand is weird, so I'm not offended if you don't give me an address. Don't want it. Okay, let's get a little bit more water. Every once in a while, this black paint always tends to dry out a little faster, so black and blue mixture here. Might need a little bit more water every once in a while. Just, in general, you need to keep adding water. But yeah. Let's see. Trying to think what else I've been reading about. I guess there's a big thing of Neil Young on Spotify. I'm curious, what is everyone's opinion of Joe Rogan? Because I don't know, he's this person that I feel like ends up getting caught up in all these. People just have their own opinions of him, and now that he's, crossed the picket line on COVID and stuff, everyone just hates him. But I don't know. I do say I used to listen to him a lot because I would say this: people talk about Joe Rogan like he's a bro guy, and I'm like, it's not really a bro. Like, bros don't listen to him because, okay, Joe Rogan's podcasts are for the most part pretty boring. I mean, it's just like he brings on some scientist. It's mildly interesting. You bring on somebody that's like a, park, national park, or some marine biologist, or I don't know, somebody that was in the CIA in the 70s, And they'll just talk to random people, and it's it's just good background noise. But I think now that everyone hates him, they attach all these things, and I'm like, he's really not that, he's not that big of a deal. I think that's why he kind of became popular, because it was just kind of easy listening. And I think he became popular because he was a lot of what he focused on was just bettering yourself, and that's self-help crap always gets popular, Being, positive-minded, blah, blah, blah. But now everyone's just like, he's a blah, blah, blah. Oh, hey, what's up, Purdy? How you doing, man? Dude, how about that Bengals game, dude? Yada, yada, yada. But I do think it's funny that Neil Young, this big deal. I guess there's a lot of people who just still listen to Neil Young. I don't know. I remember the last time I listened to Neil Young. I don't listen to either one of those, that or the Joe Rogan podcast, so I don't really care either way. But it's funny just to watch people get all up in arms about everything. Let's see. Guthrie, you want to see the trivia question? Trivia question today is, which of these televangelists has the best Pokemon deck? You got TD Jakes, you got Joel Olstein, you got old Jimmy Swaggart. Okay, but don't forget about Pete Popoff, okay? Old Pete Popoff. Oh, you think Olstein, huh? I think that's why he's gained such, such popularity and power, probably because of his deck, huh? He's got a nice deck. Let's talk about these guys' decks for a minute. And he definitely just paid all the money for it. You're probably right. Okay, but listen. Kenneth Copeland. Don't sleep on Kenneth Copeland's deck, okay? Let's see. Pete's got the best pick. Is that one of the Pokemon? Or is that just a statement about the man? Nice deck. Yeah, it's weird, but I want to see his deck, like... I want to see your deck. It's a very big deck, and it's a very nice deck. Now, some of them's decks are a little different, See, I don't know. I think Popoff's got the best deck, okay? But then you got people like, old Swagger's got a pretty small deck, really. Really the size of the deck isn't necessarily what makes a good deck. It's really the kind of deck it is, It's the quality of the deck. It's not the size of the deck, it's the motion of the ocean. Oh man. One of my favorite bits from Norm Macdonald is he's talking about that, and it's like people talk about it's not the size of your dick, it's the motion of the ocean. And he's like, as if all these guys with huge dicks are looks like, man, I wish I could do something with this. I just don't know what to do with it, It's ironic. All these women want me, but I don't know how to use my dick, It's such a funny, idea that it's not the size of it, it's how you use it. It's like, it's pretty simple, really. There's only so many things you can do with your, Anyway, Norm Macdonald tells it better, obviously. He's one of the funniest comedians ever. Let's see. Okay, we're almost done with the black parts of the tree. Finally. Let's talk about football for a second, okay? And let's talk about Matthew Stafford, okay? Now, people are going to say, oh, Matthew Stafford, he was overlooked in Detroit, but he's still blah, 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 right? Well, listen, Stafford's the best there ever was, okay? Now, Tom Brady's good. He's a good regular season quarterback, just like Aaron Rodgers. But, when it comes to playoff wins and clutch, in the moment playoff wins, you're going to go with Matthew Stafford, okay? There's no doubt in my mind he's going to win that game. Now, Purdy, are you rooting for the Bengals? Purdy, I want to know who you're rooting for. You're from Ohio. You don't really have a dog in the fight. I know you're a Browns fan, so I assume you're rooting against the Bengals? Probably don't want them to be good again next year. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, we're almost done with the dark parts of the trees. Almost there. But I will say, though, say what you will, Stafford's been delivering lately. Tom Brady's retiring. Ben Roethlisberger's retiring. Then you got old Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, retiring. It's going to be a very different year next year, Kind of out with the old, in with the new. Am I right? Say what? Okay, let's take a shot. Man, every time I take a shot, I just think about my friend Big Hands Jason that died just this week, and it's pretty sad. I'm gonna try to not. One more time, I'm gonna take another shot for him because he was the best. But sorry if I'm bringing up depressing things. I'm sorry about that, but I do love the guy. He was awesome.
Open your mind. Let us begin our quest.
Ooh.
Find a new self.
All right, shot counter. Dude, he was a legend.
I've got new.
You know,
I've got new.
yeah, he was hilarious. I mean, if you don't know, you go to a bar. First of all, he was like, I don't know, 6'7". He's huge, man. He called Big Hands because his hands were literally gigantic. Like when I put my hand up to his, it would be like here. He was enormous. He was just a huge person, and so he was just the funniest guy, most extroverted, hilarious guy. And he would do shit to. What was funny about it too is he was so big, so he could mess with other big guys who never get messed with. You know, it was hilarious. And he'd always be in a bar and he would stop and go, "Hey, can I get a hell yeah?" And the whole bar would go, "Hell yeah!" And he would do it all the time, and it was fucking hilarious. The guy was great. One of the greatest guys ever. Sucks he just, I think the medical bills he must have been quite steep, so just a sad situation, but anyway, again, Broccoli Gang Purdy. Let's see here. This is going to take a minute to dry. So let's go back to talking about Televangelist decks. Okay, which Televangelist has the best Pokemon deck, okay? Now, H is off the table, alright? So is B. Guthrie guessed B. Sherry guessed H. Pokemon's the devil, so we still got TD Jakes, who's got a pretty solid deck, okay? Now, he's mostly an energy deck, okay, but then, you got Jimmy Swaggart's got he's got a little bit of more of a dual type, multi-deck. He's got some water. He's got Mega Blastoise, and, it's a pretty formidable deck, okay, but, one is clearly the winner. If you know, you know. If you don't, just take a guess, alright? But, it's again, it's the quality of the deck, okay, not the size of the deck. Okay, let's take another shot. You've only heard of Swagger? You never heard of Joel Osteen, Cherry? Dream when I be DoorDash some Italian food. Hey, cheers. Let's take another shot. Purdy, cheers me with that IPA. I gotta get up to double digits here. I'm behind on my shots. Huh? Whew. Okay. Cheers, everybody. Hey, Old Winter King, did you get your painting? I think I've asked you this before, but I forgot. Old Winter King lives in Australia, and I sent a painting. I don't know if it ever got there. Okay, irregardlessly, let's keep going here. Okay, what we want to do now is we're going to put a second layer on our trees, and we're going to take so we're gonna mix some white in with our mixture here. Now, so we got blue, we got black, we got some white over here. Let's go back to this plate here, okay? Okay, let's get a little bit of black on here, maybe a little bit more white. And let's go back to our same brush here. I'm gonna wash it a little bit, just to get it a little bit thinner, with kind of globbed up with paint. Excuse me. You never got it? Damn. I definitely sent it. I didn't get it returned to me either, so I figured you got it. I guess I gotta be more, I don't know, maybe I need a more specific address if it's Australia. Man, that makes me sad. Hey, I might try to send you another painting, Winter King, just to see if you get it. Because I don't know why you wouldn't. I guess international. Maybe they're like, this is contraband from the US, this painting. Okay, let's take some blue and white here. Get ourselves a nice light blue. And then let's add a little touch of black to it, okay? Let's get a little bit more blue. I want to make this a little bit darker. And a little bit black. There we go. Kind of get this grayish blue now. Now, here's where we want to really kind of plan out where we're going to put a lot of these snow clumps, okay? The clumps. How do we do the clumps? Okay, a question you probably ask yourself all the time. But still, like, it just sucks that it didn't get to you, man. Like, I know it's Australia, but still, it would have been awesome if it actually got to you. Alright, I'll take a shot for you, Shelby. Alright, we have someone requesting a shot, so hey, give the people what they want. I'll take another shot. Okay. Now let's think about where our snow clumps are going to be. So, we'll kind of define where our snow clumps are, and this bluish gray color here is going to be kind of where those are, but also just kind of where parts of the tree are, not necessarily where snow is on the tree, okay? So let's go ahead and let's just start. What I like to do is kind of start, thinking about the top. Now, you got to really dab this in carefully. If you want to start with your small baby brush, you can start with that one at the top here, but at a certain point I would go with this little bit larger one. Now, what I like to do is kind of start painting on top, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start kind of defining where some of these little clumps of branches of trees and foliages. Oh shit. I should start with this one in the background though first. I kind of started on the wrong one. Okay, let's go back. Let's go to this one. Okay, now I can kind of, like this one in the background, it can be a little bit more, get away with a little bit more than this one. It's in the background. Further away, can't see all the details. Okay, but then, somewhere in there, especially towards the bottom, I might spread them around a little bit more because I want to see that dark color showing through a lot. That was probably actually a little too much of this color, so, I'm going to rein it in a little bit, okay? I'm going to rein it in, okay? Let me just try to rein this in. Alright. But maybe there's a big chunk. Okay, there's a big one right there, right? But then we'll kind of leave a lot of this shown. Let's kind of leave that a little bit more, a little bit less blue probably than I did on that first one. Yeah, that one looks better, I think, than this one, so we'll do that more. Alright. And so, yeah, again, I'm just kind of dabbing at different angles. What's nice about these trees is just kind of the dab of your flat brush. That texture kind of just already looks like those trees, Okay, keep going here. Alright, what else is new? Philip left, I guess. Philip? Philip! My cat was in here making a big noise. Oh, Philip. He's a good little cat. He's a good little kitty. He does get right up in my face a lot, though, which... Rubber better not get in my face, because I'll drop that motherfucker. No, but he does get in my face, which sucks because I'm allergic to him, which I hate that I'm allergic to cats. It'd be a lot cooler if I wasn't. It'd be a lot cooler if he weren't. Sorry about that. I apologize for that. Okay. So let's just kind of dab this in throughout here. The snow chunks, those will be a little different. We'll do those a little differently. But for now, let's just kind of... Now this is where, when they start overlapping, it gets a little bit, it gets a little hard to start telling where everything is. I kind of did a little too much on that part, but whatever. I kind of want to make sure it gets... Well, I kind of did it because I want to see the solid this is this tree's, but I shouldn't fight it. Shouldn't fight my painting. Just let it happen however it happens. Okay, there we go. Sing along. Oh, I can sing along. Sometimes I like just saying for a while, you know. I've heard that's good for public speaking. Say what else? What else? Okay, there's that one. Okay, we're almost to these trees. This part gets a little tedious. I'm not gonna lie. I get a little bored of this part. But you know, take your time. You know, put your time into that. You know, it takes time, but this color deserves it. You know, this bluish gray. They need attention too. You know, they're not just. Every color's got their issues. You know, you can't just write off gray blue because you want to. You know, you gotta be a little. Maybe down here I'll make it a little thicker. These ones are closer. They're a little thicker. But you know, you gotta give each color its chance. You know, this takes so long. I'm gonna take a shot. Getting low on Dr. Pepper. Guess what I was saying? Just swatted my face. Guess. Oh. I'm not sure what you wrote there. I'm guessing your cat just swatted your face. Is that right, Sherry? Why is your cat attacking you so much? The merch? When's the merch dropping? God, I don't know, man. I need to get on it. Man, today I was sitting here forever. My webcam, just thank God it's working now, but the main one that I'm looking at right now, it just kept shutting off. It was down for like 2 seconds, then shut off, reconnect, disconnect. I messed with it forever. I never really found the answer. Plugged it into a different port, plugged it back in. I don't know. I got so many. Point is, so much different things I'm doing. It's hard to freaking get stuff like. I mean, I'm gonna make some tumblers, you know, that have paint the edge on it. I could make shirts if I wanted. I have the ability to make shirts myself. I've got a stamp now. I'm gonna stamp my stuff with the little logo. Sherry, did you get your painting that I sent you last week? Sherry, I sent you a painting recently, right? I think I put the stamp on there. So I got a little stamp. Now, I think it was the first time I used it. It was a little light, but... Did you see the stamp, though? How I stamped the Paint the Edge Off logo? It was kind of cool looking, you know? But I will say that first one that I stamped for Sherry's wasn't totally solid. It was kind of, you know... It's a fresh stamp. Needs to be broken. You know how stamps are. You know what? Did I ever take that shot? I didn't. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. What else? What else? Yeah, these trees that are up here, these ones on the edge, are a little bigger. I'm gonna make little bigger chunks for them. Bigger chunks, you know. Ow, ow, ow. I'm doing too much down here at the bottom. A little too much. Okay, so let's add a little bit more color in there, and let's see, how's everybody's week going? You ready for this? Are you getting a big snowstorm where you're at, Birdie? Okay. We're supposed to get some crazy big snowstorm here this week. Or in the next couple days, I guess. Today and tomorrow. I don't buy it. I never buy. I don't know. Weather. Do they even know what they're doing? I think that Doppler radar's broken. Hey, we finished that shade of blue. Woo, let's go. Purdy says no, it's 40 degrees and raining though. Okay. Well, you know what's good for that? Shots. I'm gonna blow dry. And I'm going to take another shot. And I'm going, oh, I'm all out of whiskey. What am I gonna do? There we go, there we go. Let's get us a nice big old shot of that. Blow dryer painting. Cheers. Oh, excuse me. That one about got me. Ugh. That one didn't go down so smooth. Purdy, I hear you there. Okay, so now we've got kind of a, we've kind of got our trees kind of got a little bit of color, some texture. We've got a little bit of form, a little bit of something happening there. Okay, let's try it for a second more, and then we'll put the white. We'll put some white snow clumps on there. Now, if you're out there painting along with me, take your time. You can pause it. You can dry, and I'll take my time drying here. Get caught up. Take your time, okay? Take your time to the last part. I get impatient. I worked sometimes too fast, but sometimes that's what you got to do. Work a little faster. If you take too long, you sit there and tiddlywink around, and and you get too, and then you zoom out. And this area looks all weird because you're in here from 2 inches away. It looks cool, but then another thing I always tell people is every so often step back away from your painting once in a while. Look at it from 5-10 feet away, because you got to think, anytime you're going to see this painting hanging on your wall, you're going to be about 5 to 10 feet away from it. So look at it from that distance, and you'll get a better perspective of how your painting's going as you're painting, okay? Good tip. Let's take another shot, too. Why not? Open the floodgates. Okay, that one's empty. All right, hey, we're gonna hit double digits. Let's go. Shots, baby. Okay. 10 shots. Okay, let's add some white snow clumps one more time for our trivia question. Which televangelist has the best Pokemon deck? Is it A, TD Jakes? B, Joel Osteen, which has already been guessed. That one's off the table. C, Jimmy Swaggart. D, I don't know any of these people. E, Franklin Graham. F, Kenneth Copeland. G, Peter Popoff. And H, Pokemon's the Devil. Now, H has already been guessed by Sherry, so that was off the table. All right. Okay, let's keep going, okay? Oh, man. Purdy, you're the best, bud. You don't have to do that. I really appreciate it. One day, maybe I'll go, like, affiliate or something. I should do subscriptions and shit, but I just move like a snail on this stuff. It's too much. I'm doing it all myself. It's one thing at a time. Okay, let's get some white paint on a fresh plate, and let's take our medium round brush, this one. Alright, tap it off so you feel like a fancy pants artist. You don't really need to tap it off, but you feel fancier when you do, so that's important. Okay, so now what we want to do here, this is where you kind of got to really, this is the part you have to actually think about. Now my old booze brain's going to have to go into overdrive here to try to think. Maybe I won't think, I'll just feel it out. We'll see. But basically what you want to do here is kind of decide where do I want these snow clumps? One thing you do want to do is put them at the tops of each of your little imaginary branches, right? If, here's a good one. Let's say this is one little, you know, branch right there with a bunch of leaves. You want to make sure you put the snow on the top, okay? On the top part of that. So, anyway. Let's go ahead and just start adding some. Now, I like to get a lot of good thick paint with this. I dip my brush in fresh white paint a lot and get some good thick, thick, whatever. But the one thing I do is I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna basically kind of re-go over some of those lighter blue spots that I painted in, but I'm gonna go on the top parts of them, so it looks like there's snow sitting on the tops of those branches. Okay. So while I'm going over some of what I've already painted, I'm sticking towards the top part of it. Right? Right? The other thing I'm going to start doing is start imagining where the edge of this tree is that's in front. Okay, this tree is kind of in front of this one that I'm painting. So I might go over and stop, you know, and try to stop myself. If you have to, you can always take that dark black and the other blue and kind of paint back over some of these. If you've painted a tree that's behind a tree in the front, if you painted over that one, let's take another color and go back on top of that so it looks like it's behind the other tree. Okay? But let's just start adding some white. Let's just start adding some big snow clumps here. Now again, I'm kind of stopping, I'm keeping an eye on where this edge of this one is. I'm going to try not to cut into this tree's space, okay? Give it its space, okay? I tell you, you know, give it some space. Now, I'm also kind of keeping aware of this side. I've probably gone over a little too far here. But, you know, what are you going to do? What's this tree going to do to me, huh? Nothing. You can do shit to me, paint. Imaginary paint tree. I do whatever I want to you. I'm sorry, paint tree. I didn't mean that. I don't know why I do that. You're my everything, paint. I shouldn't have said that. One thing I do start to do is kind of start doing this little... Wow, you kind of start making that almost like a chain link fence. The way, I don't know why I think a chain link fence, but it's kind of this like weaving in and out. Now here, I want this tree to be in front of this one, so here I might go, wham, that one's in front, okay? Purdy asked, what species of trees are these, Joel? What species? Well, let me tell you. They're hydroponic evergreens. Does that answer your question? Huh? Tell you what kind of species of tree they are. They're the snow-covered kind. They're the Charlie Sheen tree. Who's the most famous Coke fiend? Okay, now this tree's going to be in front of this one, so some of these, you know, when I get over to this left side, I'm going to take them right on top, okay? Okay. Is it harder to paint or draw? Well, if I'm being honest, paint. Drawing's kind of where it starts, right? I always think if you can't draw it, you probably can't paint it. But that's not necessarily true either. You could paint some stuff if you're not a good drawer. You can kind of make things with paint that's harder to do with drawing, you know, it's suppose. But for the most things, drawing's kind of, it's kind of the basics, right? It's kind of where you start. Okay, now right there's a good clump. Now that's a big clump of, I'm gonna go over the top part, right? Now here we go. This one's going to be on top of these, right? So here, if I'm doing one like that, it's going to go on top of this. Now that was a little too big, but just trying to make a point here, okay? Pablo Escobar. Yeah, that probably is the most famous Coke fiend, right? Quite literally. Now this tree's coming down in front too, so I'm going to have to stop going over too far. I'm going to have to go, you know, like so. Okay? Okay. Okay, again, anybody just tuning in, here's the trivia question today. We're talking about televangelist decks, okay? Which one has the best Pokemon deck? Some of them have big decks, some of them have quality decks. Just really like, you know, some of their decks are, you know, a lot of people are on those decks, you know. They got a lot of characters on those decks. Now again, I'm keeping in mind where this tree is because it's in front of this tree. So I'm going to try not to go over this line, okay? I might put a little bit there, but I kind of stop in this range, okay? But over here, here's a big old fat section there. Let's put a little big old fat snow clump on the side of this one, yeah? There we go. Let's see, speed has everything to do with it, Guthrie. It's really not the position of the deck, it's sometimes the bottom of the decks are the ones generating most of the power. Now, okay, let's put some snowy boys there. What's the metaverse, Purdy? Do you even know what a metaverse is, Purdy? Does anyone know what a metaverse is? If you're just going off Spider-Man movies, you don't know shit about the metaverse. Now what you gonna do is you want her to depend on you, okay? Good job, Charlie. You're really picking up on this. I'm really proud of you. Oh, dude, explain the metaverse, Purdy, please. I don't think anyone knows what the metaverse is. I bet the metaverse includes all kinds of decks. You know, really, though? I'm gonna tell you, though, I mean, TD Jake's energy deck, you might write it off, but well, it's pretty difficult. It gets pretty hairy. He's got a pretty hairy deck, you know.
They think it ain't close, but it ain't as it appears. I love being me, cause it's nothing like my peers. I'm the coolest thus far from
Okay. You should come on my show sometime. Fly down to Arkansas, Purdy, and we'll do a painting together. Na can't catch me. Okay, we're almost done with this side of the trees. Let's take a shot. This is taking too long. Let's see. Yeah, if anyone can explain the metaverse to me, please type out a novel in the comments, and I will read it and explain it to the whole world. Cheers. Ugh. Man, I got a really funny big hand story, but I don't know if I should tell it. It's really not bad, but you know, people are sensitive these days. Tell me a story one time of some guys tried to start shit with him, which I don't know why you would ever start shit with him. He said he was in a taco shop getting tacos, and somebody online thought he was, I don't know, they thought he was someone else, thought he did something. He's like, I don't know who you are. He ends up getting in a fight, I guess, and apparently he stomped on someone so bad. Maybe he stomped on their head and he thinks he saw his eyeball pop out. But I don't know. I don't know if he's exaggerating. You know, he seemed pretty serious, but he said, you know, this was 20 years ago. I think the statute of limitations has run out. But I'm hoping that someone just spit their gum out and he thought it was an eyeball or something. But either way, he said he ran out of there and ran off because he thought he... I don't know if that one's true or not, but I do know another one. Basically, there's one story where he was telling the story about how he was leaving. If you're familiar with Fayetteville, if you're a person watching me who knows me, who lives in Fayetteville, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, I'll explain it. There's a couple bars, and they share the same building. And in the back, there's a bathroom and a hallway between the three, and they're all connected. And if you live in Fayetteville, it's green room, you know who knows, Hammond Trees, and what used to be Social Club, now it's called VIP, I think, or Weston Watson maybe. But anyway, this building, in the back there's a bathroom. Okay, so again, now here's the tree in front. I'm gonna stay out of this range, but I'm gonna go over here, right? So this looks like that's in front, you know? Okay, so anyway, Big Hands is out drinking. He's hammered drunk, according to him. And he's in that back hallway, and he was trying to leave. So there's a way to go straight down the hallway, and it leads to the exit in the front of this place. And it's locked. And it's a door, and it's got glass, double pane glass, and there's chicken wire, you know, metal wiring in the glass. It's a super solid door, right? And he can't open it. He's like, I'm leaving, you know? And he said, fuck this, and he kicks through it. Okay, now again, Big Hands Jason's 6'6", 6'7". I feel like I'm talking about Bill Brasky when I talk about him. Like, he was a mountain of a man. But he really was. He was gigantic. Huge person. He just was. So anyway, he kicks through this door, through the wire, both sides of this window, right? And then somehow unlocks and gets out. Well, when he pulled his leg out, the wire sliced like a main artery. So he's basically bleeding out, right? And he said he walks down and people keep telling him like, hey man, you need to stop, dude, come here, no, stop, no, Jason, don't do that. And he goes, fuck you, I'm Big Hands Jason. You know, just keeps walking away from everybody. Well, then he passes out, falls down on the sidewalk, and is blacking out from blood loss because he's cut a main artery in his leg. So then the way he tells me, he says, so then I wake up and I'm laying there on the sidewalk, like at the corner of, if you know where I'm talking about, it's at the corner of like the drive-in or the entryway to this parking lot at the corner of like Hammond Trees in Fayetteville. Okay, so he's laying there, and he said he remembers his friend was there, being like, "Are you okay? I'm staying with you," you know. And he's like, "Oh yeah." And there's a paramedic there, and they're like suturing him, you know, trying to keep him alive and everything. And his friend's like, "Do you need anything?" And he goes, "Give me a cigarette." And the paramedic's like, "Don't give him a cigarette." And he's like, "Fuck you." And he gives Jason a cigarette. And so Jason lights the cigarette, smokes it. And anyway, so then at some point he passed out again. And he said he woke up in the ambulance. Now this part, bear with me, because at first it's gonna sound like this is the part that I feel like people might get mad about, but they're not. Don't be mad. Just wait. So anyway, so then he said he woke up. He's in the ambulance, and there's this nurse lady, and he's looking up and they have blood, like an IV pumping into him, and they're like, "You've cut a main artery. You're bleeding out. You're dying if you don't get more. So we're pumping blood into you so you don't die." And he's like, "You're cute." He's like hitting on the nurse lady in the ambulance because he's an animal. He's hilarious. And probably just as a joke even. He could never stop joking. Anyway, so then he says, "What's that blood? Are you pumping blood in me?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Who's it from?" She's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Is it black blood?" And she goes, "Look, I don't know. It's whoever done it." She goes, "I hope it is because it'll make my dick bigger." And just laughs and then passed out again. And I feel like that encompasses a lot of Big Hands. He was hilarious. There's like no hating him. He just loved to make people laugh. And really was a great guy. But that was a story that he told me, and I know I butchered that story a little bit, but and there's a lot more details he told me that he told me this story like years ago. It's been like 4 or 5 years, I think, that night we were hanging out and he told me that story. But like, you know, he had so many hilarious stories like that. But that's what he did. He was just out to, he was you know, a big extrovert. He was a character, and he just happened to be almost 7 feet tall and like 350 pounds or something probably. He was just an enormous human being who loved metal music and making people laugh. That's really what he was about, was making people smile and laugh. And, you know, I don't know. I just love the guy to death, and I was so sad. And, you know, he stayed at my apartment one time for like a week or so and tried to help the guy out. You know, he was never, you know, well off financially, and it's sad that he couldn't get his... But I'd say the medical bills, you know, he needed was a lot of money. It's not like you could just throw $1,000 at it. It's like it would be tens of thousands of dollars, or I don't know. I'm assuming because people tried to help him out. I tried to help him out, but at the end of the day, he would always tell me he didn't have anybody, didn't have any family, and so it's just a really sad ordeal. Again, God, I told myself I wasn't going to sit here and be depressing today and talk about it, but I can't not talk about it, you know. Oh, my camera finally went out. Camera's been messing up today. Here we go. Okay, hopefully this lasts a minute. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I know it's... I'm sorry if I make anybody sad out there. I really am, because it is sad. I miss the guy. And I'd see him, you know, the last several years, I'd see him out, and it was great, but it was just different. You could tell he's struggling, and man, he told me some great stories, though. I make a comic. I was making a comic called Amaranth Rant, which I'm actually making more of, but there was a character in there that was based on him. Okay, I'm mixing up a light blue, just a little blue and white. And I'm going to paint a couple more paintings. I'm going to get off this topic. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Man, it's just so sad. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to take a shot for Jason. One of the most badass people I've ever met. Cheers. Ooh. Okay, so we're down to kind of one of the last things here. What I want to do is take our brush. Let's get some light blue mixed up there. A little light blue. And now's where we're going to put maybe a little bit more blue. Maybe a little... Ooh, that's probably too dark. But let's get a nice kind of medium blue. Not quite as light. Let's kind of get in this range. You know, this little blue range. A little bit more blue mixed in with our white. A nice pretty blue here. Now this is where we kind of add. This is where you add your artistic flair. Okay, you add your artistic flair to this part. Okay, just go ahead and say, "Oh, I like it here. I like it there." Okay, I'm gonna say, okay, let's add some light blues. Also, a good place to kind of define where the front. I'm gonna start from the front, work my way back on this part, and say, okay, there's some. Hey, there's one over there. There's a little bit there. But I'm also gonna go, oh, that's in front of that. Oh. That is in front of that, right? So I might put them kind of underneath some of my white snow globs there. But I am going to kind of define maybe where the sides of some of these trees are, you know? Now that's probably too much. Like always, the first one I do too much. What's my biggest weakness? Doing too much. It's very true, though. I've had so many jobs in my life, and there'd be so many jobs where someone would move up. We'd start at the same time. We're doing the same job. I'm even doing a little bit better, I feel like. But I try to do too much. I go around to, oh, I can learn that. I can do that. And you know what? They end up moving up the guy who's just doing exactly what he's told. And I started to realize, you know, maybe all this trying to do everything just for his temporary job, not worth it. Well, you know, that's just me. I don't know. I'm gonna stay out of this range. Maybe I'll put a little blue there. This one's called the love of the game stroke, brush stroke. It's just called, hey, you know, there's no science to this. You just put it in where you feel like it. The love of the art. And you know what? And let's talk about Matthew Stafford for another minute, because Stafford's going to the fucking Super Bowl. And if you don't know, Stafford is the current quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams, who I don't give a shit about the Rams, but I do give a shit about the Detroit Lions. And he was the quarterback of the Lions for 12 years. He got to a couple playoffs. He got to a playoff when he was like his second year, and he was going against Drew Brees and the Saints, and they lost, but don't count that one against him. There's another one in 2016. I think his best year, 2016, was his most epic year. But then he broke his finger, middle finger of his throwing hand, like 4 games out of the season, right? And then they went to the playoffs, but he couldn't really do much because he had a broken hand. 2014, though, they went to the playoffs against the Cowboys, and that's one I feel like he could have won, but he didn't. The Lions didn't, and he didn't either, so I get that criticism. But for the most part, you never really went to the playoffs because no matter what, the Lions are just garbage. So, Purdy, you're rooting for the Bengals? I would assume if they're in your division, maybe you wouldn't want them to be good. But also, don't you just love Matthew Stafford, though? Don't you want him to win one? What, you hate Stafford? Is that what you're saying? Purdy. I want to know your entire feelings on Matthew Stafford right now. Okay, so we got some light blue going in here. Philip. Oh, my kitty cat. He wasn't here playing around. Now I kind of miss it. At first it was distracting, but you know, I kind of miss it. Philip, come here, Philip. He's probably not gonna come. So what? You just love Joe Burrow? How do you feel about your Browns, Purdy? How are you not against them? You're a Browns fan. Don't you want them to suck? You're gonna root for Burrows? I do like Burrow, though. I mean, I do. I think it's gonna be good. Like, honestly, I would be happy either way. Oh yeah, you're right. Wait, is Cincinnati? Wait, Cincinnati and Browns are both in Ohio. Yeah, but still, it just feels like, you know, you're a Browns fan, right? You saying it's good either way? Like I used to. You know, he is a. I know, but I'm just saying. Don't you think Guthrie? Let's say the Bills. I guess you love Josh Allen. Let's take it that way. Is Buffalo or whatever, like, isn't it all? Your team, Ohio. Okay. Yeah, you think old Baker Mayfield's the problem there? You saying you need a QB? Okay, we're almost done with this painting here. Okay, now this, I finally got to the tree in the very background. I'm just going to kind of play my cards right here, just kind of dab this in, whichsoever, but not much, okay? I'm just going to kind of dab this throughout this, because at this point, these other trees are in front. You don't want this tree to be taking any kind of, you know, attention away from these other trees in front of it, because you want it to be in the background. So I might just go right down the middle, put a couple little squigglies in there, and that's probably good. Okay, now, if you want to make this even better, you could go back, you could get some of that bluish black, you know, that you made earlier. You could get that, and you could, you know, you could go back and redefine some things. Maybe you will go, okay, maybe I want. Ooh, and that does make it look a lot better, doesn't it? Ooh, I like that. You could go back and do some of that, which I think I might just do here real quick. Let me take one more shot, okay? Let me get some more Dr. Pepper. Let's pour another one out for my homie Jason. Big hands, my boy. I feel like I've covered up a lot of the darknesses of this one. Cheers. Thank you, Purdy. Cheers, Jason. Alright, let's bring up the trivia question one more time. Okay, so now maybe the last thing I might do, maybe play with adding some of these dark colors back in. You just have to keep in mind that these are the colors that are the furthest in the background, but they can help you redefine a lot of your trees here, okay? Excuse me. Anybody wants a free painting? Answer this trivia question in the comments, and I'll send you a painting. Okay. You know, maybe some areas you got a little carried away. Maybe here. Ooh, yeah, that looks a lot better, huh? I'm gonna go back through here and add a little bit more black. These dark colors in here. Oh, yeah. Right? I think that looks a little better. Because it's real easy to get carried away with your overlapping colors constantly. Maybe I need to find a little better tactic here. Maybe crisscrossing some of these. Maybe, I don't know. Crisscrossing some, maybe not right through the middles of some of these snowy covered spots. But let's go ahead and, I'm going to start my back one here. Kind of find some deep pockets there. I'm going to add some more black in there. Or maybe up here. There's definitely not enough black showing in this one. Maybe at the bottom too. I could, you know, as you go, you kind of forget all the things you were thinking when the first time you painted. Oh, whoops, that was this other tree. If anybody has any stories about Jason, we should share those. I might make a little post here in a little bit that says, telling a story and say, share any stories. Because there's so many stories with that guy. He was just awesome. Entertainer, you know. He was an entertaining person. He loved, you know, making people laugh. And I feel like he's got a lot of good stories. Alright, let's add a little bit more. Here we go. Alright, I'm going a little faster. I'm getting a little sloppy, but you know what? I like it. I kind of like the style I'm going. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Now I'm getting it. You know, the other thing I encourage you, if you're painting, and you start getting it, just go. Just go. Don't think about it. Just go. If you do it and you stop and take a look back and you go, "Ooh, that's nice," just go. I would say that, you know, there's something to not taking it too seriously. Not seriously, but like not taking too much time. Like, there's something about moving fast where you start getting, when you get in a rhythm, go fast. There's nothing wrong. It does not mean you did a worse job if you do it fast. It means you did a great job most of the time. So you start getting those rhythms, you just go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. I like these little lines. I'm gonna go, go, go. You know what? I'm gonna go, go, go. Now in here, I'm kind of defining, okay, here's that tree. Just trying to stay in my lane with that tree. Now I do want to make these bottoms here nice and dark. You know, it's the bottom of that tree. There's a lot of detail. Okay, there we go. Okay. Let's do this one here. Here we go. Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. I like it. Okay, there we go. Okay, we made our snowy forest there. Okay, now today's winner for trivia question. The correct answer was A, TD Jakes. No one guessed it, so everyone that guessed today gets a free painting. Just pick out a painting and I will send it to you. But TD Jakes does have the best Pokemon deck. Close second is actually Swagger. Okay. So, which televangelist has the best Pokemon deck? It's actually TD Jakes. You might not think it. He's a big African American man, and some people have stereotypes, not me. Okay, other people. They may not think he's a Pokemon strategist, but he is. He's an energy deck, and his use of cards is brilliant. So, TD Jakes was the correct answer. No one guessed it. So instead, everyone else wins. Everyone gets a free painting. You just send me what painting you want, and I'll give it to you, okay? I'll give it to you, okay? Okay, so all these men's decks are large and in charge, and we've talked plenty about these men's decks today in our class, and all of their decks are something to behold. Some are a little skinnier, some are a little smaller, a little bigger. Some of them are more quality-based, more quantity-based. Some of them have, pretty difficult, pretty hairy decks, But regardless, all of these televangelists, basically all televangelists, are Pokemon masters, pretty much. That's how they rose to power, really. So there's your trivia question for the week. A lot of people don't realize this about televangelists, but they're huge Pokemon. That's how they got into their field. Was first becoming Pokemon masters and then getting into televangelism, but the history, that's a discussion for another day. Okay, let's take our little tiny baby brush, get some white paint, and let's put our initials on here. Let's sign it so we know it's a nice fancy painting. You can sign your edges. I kind of like this one the way it is because it's white. I don't know, I just like it. Maybe I could paint it all like a blue. Actually, maybe a dark blue would be really good for this one. I'm going to go and paint it a dark blue. Now that I'm thinking about it. Just a little bit of white mixed in with my phthalo blue. Get a nice deep blue. Maybe a little bit of white mixed in to give ourselves a nice blue color here. Okay, and let's paint our side edges. And let's paint our bottoms too. Okay, let's go ahead and paint our bottoms. Now, the one thing I'll tell you when you're painting your edges, pull in. Okay, pull in. Don't paint like this. Or sorry, where can you see my painting? Don't paint up and down. Go in the short way. Now it seems counterintuitive. Like it seems like it's going to take longer. And it does take longer. But it looks better. Okay, if you go this way, up and down your edges, like that, and along the top, you will get... Oh, damn it, I accidentally touched it. See, that actually proves my point. You will get stuff on the front of your painting, which you don't want, okay? You want to keep all the paint on the side, on the edges. Okay, lock so. Okay. Okay. So anyway, congratulations to everyone who guessed. Never heard of what? You said you never heard of that. Never heard of what? Pokemon? Painting your edges? Signing your painting? Okay, now, before this paint dries, let me switch it upside down, get this bottom edge real quick before it dries, and I'll switch it back fast. Okay, there we go. There's our painting. Let's flip it up. Bam! Thank you, everybody. There's our painting today. A nice little fort. Now, you know, one other thing you might do. Let's go ahead and do one other thing. Let's maybe take some of this light blue. And you could do this. You could go ahead and go, wow. Oh, there we go. You could take some dark blue and go, oh, there's some dark blue. You know, fix up the bottoms of those trees, you know? Maybe you go like that. Oh, there's that. Oh, there's that. Maybe you got an ugly bottom. Some of us have ugly bottoms, you know? That's something that happens, you know? Not everyone has a beautiful bottom like me. I have a beautiful bottom with my painting. But maybe you don't, you know, and you want to cover up some of the bottoms. Do that, okay? So there's our painting for today. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you for guessing the trivia question. No one guessed the right answer, which I don't blame you for. It's a very, you know, it's what I'm here. I'm here to educate you on things like televangelists, Pokemon decks, and that's what I did today. So don't feel bad that no one got it right, but do feel good about getting a free painting today. You know, get a free painting. Also, like and share and follow. Just search Paint Theater. Just follow me on stuff, please. Purdy, I'm going to make some merchandise for you. Just for you. Okay, buddy? I promise, okay? Just give me some time, okay? Today, my webcam just wasn't working. I got issues. Okay, I'm doing this by myself. Give me a break here. I'm drunk. Anyway, goodbye. I love you all.